Hello everybody, welcome to the next episode of whatever this video series is called. I'm Justin, your kind of host-ish, and this is Liz Windnagle. And we are exploring a little bit of improvisation, a little bit of following your impulse, and a little bit of devising some theater/music. So, Liz just taught me a really, really cool exercise I'm probably going to obsess over and bring into many aspects of my creative process. But why don't you explain what we're doing today?
Yeah, I wish it had a better name, but we're sort of combining like an image exercise with what we're calling acts of transfer. So really using interdisciplinary work and interdisciplinary concepts, I guess, to come up with a final product or to basically open up our practices. So
I feel like there's a lot of like practical applications for something like this because you're taking, basically what we're doing is we're taking an idea, a prompt, forming ideas off of it, and then working off of each other's ideas and kind of bouncing back and forth. So by the end, it's like we're bouncing off of both of our ideas at the same time. So what are the steps? Can you bring us through the steps of what this exercise is?
Yes. So basically, first off, we came up with something that we wanted to explore. And I asked Justin, okay, what are you obsessed with lately? Which is a place I like to work from. And Justin's been really into fungi. Can I tell a joke?
Yeah.
Why did the mushroom get invited to the dance?
Why?
Because he's a really fun guy.
A real fun guy.
Okay. Just remember that. So, so I was down to explore that. That sounded really exciting. So what we did is we discussed for a little bit, a couple minutes, like what interests you about this? Like, what does it bring up? And then we decided that we would kind of separate, take about 10 minutes, and we could either write a little tune, write a little piece of music. We could write text, poetry, could draw a picture. Neither of us chose that. Or make a movement, something to do with movement. So we went our separate ways. We both decided to write poems this time around. And so kind of then we go from there. So we both wrote poems and we came back together and kind of were like, okay, let's share our poems and like, what did that make you think of? And what's the direction we want to go in next? And the rest is history. So that's sort of, it's just kind of a way to, I like sometimes with this to come up with either an image or a question and let people go their separate ways and come up with something and then bring it back together to discover, what's next.
What I like about it right off the bat is that it kind of, it takes away a little bit of that feeling of expectation, like if before it kind of we were chatting about this, like I think a really practical application for this would to be taking a piece that you're working on, say with your pianist or something like that, and maybe each using the poetry as a catalyst. Like, okay, are you gonna can you draw something from this? Can you and everything, but it immediately takes away that expectation of I'm a singer, I need to sing something, I need to make sound with my throat, basically. And so if that's out the window right away, that immediately got my creativity going, and I am not very creative today at all because it's Sunday, and that's a day off. So, Let's have anything else. Do we want to kind of go down show everybody what we worked on?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Cool. So I guess we will share both of our poems that we wrote.
Actually, I have to get my notebook.
Okay, yeah, get your notebook. And I'll say too, just while Justin's away, like what made us able to create this type of work together, I think comes from our experience, like already working in collaborative atmospheres. So I just wanted to add, if you're jumping into a collaborative atmosphere, like always be ready to say, it's corny, but say yes and to your fellow collaborators, and yeah, just be willing to obviously go outside of your comfort zone and try something new, because it will really open up your practice. Yeah, I just gave a PSA while you were gone.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Is it about the dangers of fax machines?
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That one didn't make the improvisation.
Yeah, good. Cool.
Should I read mine first?
Yeah.
All right. So this is my poem that got off of the prompt of Fun Guy. Yeah, neither of us are poets, but a gasp of color here and here, trailing off far and away. Shelters built on death, next to death, roofing their little lungs so the earth may breathe and eat. You and I, being feasted upon and carried on to our next destination, then growing, forgetting about time, exhaling, then breathing in again, a purple in orange or cream.
Lovely. Cool. Grasping at life, living between worlds, the ghost of a plant. I continually want to teach you. I appear an apparition, my cells glowing. What if you let me teach you and give you an important message, like who and where you are supposed to be? I vibrate color. I am clever, glowing ghastly, an oracle's globe. My shape allows one to rest their thoughts. I spread oozing wisdom. Cool. So then we brought these, the next step was that we brought these back together, we shared them, and we assessed. And we pulled out some similar themes. Like there were a lot of similarities in our poems. And yeah, and then I think like the impulse we both felt next, it's good at that moment to just sort of be in touch with what it is that you're being drawn to in the moment. So I felt when Fun Guy came up, I was like, for some reason I'm drawn to words. I don't know why. And then after that, yeah, based on our themes and what we'd come up with, I think we both felt like, okay, let's make some sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we did. We could have chose to go in another direction. So that's like, it's a choose your own adventure. There's no one right way to make things. So like, what are some other options we could have done? Like,
yeah,
I could have said, all right, Justin, make a movement.
Yeah.
Make something with movement based on my poem, or let's, also don't be afraid to cut, or don't be afraid to go in one direction. Like, we could have said, oh, I'm not feeling my poem anymore. Let's focus on Justin's poem, and like, let's go that direction. So yeah, depending on like who's leading, how collaborative it is, I think it's important to not get too attached too quickly. I think that's another important message, is like realizing that these are all tools or maybe building blocks to something, and just going in with curiosity.
I think that it helps to build something that has a little more structure to them.
Yeah.
If you're able to, what is it? The most important part of a pencil is the eraser.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And
is that a thing people say? I don't know, but
yeah.
Maybe no pencil, no career.
Tool. Yeah. But yeah, I just say like in these creative moments, I really like this type of setup for creating, because it feels like you're focused on the work and like where the work's taking you. Mm-hmm. And if you can like leave behind your ego, or like, I came up with this idea and I really like it, it's like, okay, you might have to save that for later when you're not working with someone else. Like, just do whatever works for the group or the ensemble. Yeah.
So the sounds, Should we share some of the sounds and then we can share the finished product?
Yeah. Let me go first, yeah.
Sure. So like I was saying before, like, you know, like having other options that were, you know, blank slate, you know, improvisation, no wrong answers kind of idea. Like I said, I kind of expanded my creativity a little bit. So I did feel in that second round, like, oh, I want to make sound, but I don't want to sing. I don't want to vibrate at all. You know, which goes against my kind of default reaction. So I kind of, you know, the word grasping in your poem kind of really made sense to me. So kind of a gesture / percussive kind of thing. All right. Yeah, and you can play around with it then. So the fingertips, yeah, how the motion works, it's kind of cool. Yeah, that's neat. Should have done that. But and then like little, like, you know, kind of almost like babbling or bubbling and like crinkling, almost like little randomizations with the tongue, which is getting my cat's attention right now. It's Motley. And then Liz wrote something, you know, about like wanting to teach and everything, and you know, and asking permission to teach, which means that, like, you know, it's kind of like you have to work for that. Then it's not an instant kind of message. So then I thought, oh well, what if like maybe speaking some of the text that popped out to me, but only with consonants. So like you know, like I think there was like what was that over there? Yeah. You know, so really kind of internalizing that, and then breathing. It's kind of a resonant, breezy, you know, lung-filled breath.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, and I didn't I guess I'm learning, because I didn't realize, or I didn't connect that there were like certain lines that inspired these sounds. So that's cool. That's cool that we're discussing this, because now I'm learning. Yeah, and then I kind of just jumped in. I'm trying to think. You had like a very logical like reason why you started doing things, and I don't know. I was just sitting in this position, and there was like a trickling water for the cats playing in the other room, and I was just like very meditative. And I just started improvising. I pulled out a couple lines, especially from Justin's, that I liked. I pulled out so that the earth might breathe and eat, forgetting about time, and then the words gasp and death. So those were sort of what I was focusing on. And then I started improvising with gesture and kind of imagining the shape of the fungi, which kind of looked like this to me. And then sort of like, I guess like water, like moisture. I was thinking about moisture too. Because when I'm thinking about fungi in the woods, like it's like moist, and I think that's how that stuff grows.
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist. So I came up with these phrases, and it went, So those were sort of like the core phrases, and then I was improvising, and then out of that I had a line of text that went, so that the earth might breathe and eat. So that the earth might breathe and eat. And then those were sort of just simple melodies that I came up with and shared them with Justin, and then we decided to put them
together. We did round 3, yeah.
Yeah, we did round 3, we put them together. And yeah, I'd just like to say too that, you know, we could keep going forever. Or we could, you know, stop and reassess and find out what's valuable. So thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yeah. So we'll see what we made, but before that, thanks for watching, and be creative. Explore what this can do for you and your creative practice. So, see ya.
So that the earth might breathe and eat. Mm.